Hey guys, it's Kevin with Watchhimtrade.com. Going into the first week of March in 2015, and just wanted to update what I'm kind of looking at on the S&P 500. We've made a great move to the upside since the beginning of the year after some initial choppy action, but now the bulls are for sure in charge. They're in control, moved us to new all-time highs. We're above 2100, closed slightly lower on Friday, but I'm just watching this over under 2100 trade on the S&P. I think if we dip below 2100, you could see a little bit of a pullback towards 2070-ish down to 2050, but even so, I'd be a buyer on that dip given the strong trend, the continuation that we've seen overall. What it would take to me to break the uptrend somewhat is to get back into the red on the year and go below 2050. Your break-even line is 2058. That's where you closed in 2014. I'm a big proponent of red to green moves and green to red moves on day trading action. So I'm looking for that same thing on the S&P 500 from an intermediate term perspective. If you were to go green to red, that could trigger some downside for, the back half of this year, possibly as we approach the summer. But until that happens, and if it never does happen, I'm still looking for higher prices overall. I think this market is a buy the dip. You're only going to see soft downside, not expecting anything drastic. Right here, right now, watch the 2100 area. If you do come below 2100, the bears will want to see some type of reaction lower. You don't want to break 2100 and then kind of hang out in the 2090s, high 2080s. You'd want to break 2100 and really make a nice 10, 15, 20 handle move right down towards 2080, 2070s or so, in order to show that there is going to be somewhat of a pullback here. Otherwise, would expect dips to be shallow, and the next area to watch is the current all-time high right around 2120, 2125, quarter mark above 2100, because we could be going up towards 2150 to 2200 over the next few months, as that's just been the trend. And, as they say, the trend is your friend. Individual stocks that I'm watching: Google broke out nicely last week, closing above 550, closed at its highest prices since late November, early December. Looking to see now if it can be legit and keep on going, trend back towards 600. GoPro continues to be extremely weak, broke below 50 bucks a couple weeks ago, and is trading at its lowest prices since basically when it first came out with the IPO. If you break below 40 bucks, I think you see more momentum lower. GoPro will get interesting on the long side, though, if it can come down towards 35 to 30. And then lastly, Netflix. Netflix has been a good story. We all know the momentum Netflix has seen. You had House of Cards 3 released over this weekend, so just curious to see how does the market react to that. Was it priced in? Does a sell-off now come about? What's the story with Netflix after we had a catalyst like House of Cards come and go? How does the stock react to that? On the charts, you're right around 475. To me, you need to break below 470 to set up a test towards 450s, but I'm a buyer on dips versus 450. I think Netflix is in really good shape long term as long as you're staying above 450.